Is the designated player. Natalie Gianscoli will be at first base. Ashley Surran will be the catcher. Gina Rios will be playing left field. And Karlie O'Donnell will be in center field. Defense for the Lady Knights, as always. Ashley Sims, Kylie O'Donnell, and Alyssa Giambri across the outfield. Alexis Daubert, Kylie McGoldrick, Kate Biasi, and Sydney Allen across the infield. Amanda Gardiner behind the plate. And on the mound will be Sarah Almacy.
And, of course, looking at this Buena team, I mean, you know, we've had a couple games as we look at the Sterling girls right there, where Sterling's, they had one early on, they had the 110-run rule game, and then the last game was a comfortable win. And I think they went against a couple teams where clearly Sterling was the better team. It was a game where if they played their game, you know, they would come out on top like they did. But in looking at this game and just hearing what you've heard about Buena and Brittany Scott and all her statistics, which look very impressive, and Buena as a whole, it definitely looks like this is an equal matchup and going to come down to be one of those softball games that's going to end up being a 2-1 or 1-0 game.
We'll give you a little bit of background on the Buena Chiefs. They were 25-4 on the year and won their Cape Atlantic League National Division. They were runners-up at the Rancocas Valley Tournament. The last time they were in this or have a sectional title was in 1990, and that was the year they won it back-to-back in 89 and 90. And the last time they were in the championship game was in 2006, and they lost to the Audubon Green Wave in 13 innings, 1-0. So I think we're in for a good ball game today. Looking at their pregame today, everybody was pretty impressed with how Buena was handling the ball. And as you see on the screen here, you see Sarah Almacy getting the mound ready, and you see stats on Sarah for the year: 17-3 with a 1.26 ERA. So it's been a great senior season for Sarah Almacy also. And you never quite know how these championship games are going to go. I mean, this is what's fun about it. They have not seen each other this year, played against each other. You never know how their conference, the Cape Atlantic, how that matches up with the Colonial Conference that the Lady Knights have worked on this year. So we'll see. It is number 1 versus number 2, I believe. Buena, I believe, was the second-ranked team.
Yeah, and just hearing what people are saying, it seems like they're evenly matched teams. Of course, the common opponents were Haddon Heights, Sacred Heart, and West Deptford. And they came away. Buena came away with a 3-1 win the other day against Haddon Heights.
Yeah, we're way out in left field today, and that's not just a figure of speech. They stuck us all the way out in left field today, because since we have the promenade coming up at 6 o'clock or 6:15 tonight, due to that having do the double broadcast today, we have to come up here in the mezzanine level, as it might be. We'll call it the mezzanine level, but it's actually a pretty nice venue. We got a little bit more of a breeze today than we've had over the last couple weeks. All right, and it looks like we're about ready to get started here. This is Maria Santiago for the Chiefs, senior second baseman. She's broken the school record for hits in a season. It was 50, and she got her 100th hit this season. For the first pitch is over for a called strike.
A little bit like Sarah Almacy with her running out of the box from that left side of the plate.
Takes low for ball 2.
Got a 5.52 average. You know, again, you see these impressive statistics that, like we were saying earlier, and you wonder, you know, what the competition's like, and we're not saying that one way or another.
There's a little pop-up to the middle of the infield to the vacuum cleaner, Kylie McGoldrick. So that takes care of Santiago, and we're underway.
Yeah, under it very easily, and that's a good early sign right there. Yeah, she got her bat on the ball, but it was that dead hit that we see that doesn't really get on the barrel of the bat. And that's one thing that Sarah Almacy's been able to do is keep the, you know, even though when the hitters hit the ball, they're not getting the barrel of the bat around there, and there's not a lot of hard hit balls.
It's Karlie Gruccio, second hitter for the Chiefs.
Gruccio, another Cape All-Star.
Sarah falls behind her 2-0.
Gruccio hitting .345. 29 hits. He scored 31 runs, 2 home runs, and 27 RBIs.
Pours that one over for the strike. 2-1 now to Gruccio. Swings at a high fastball. Evens the count at 2-2. And now Macy gets her to chase again the high fastball.
Yeah, and that's the pitch where if you get it up, you want to get it up and outside or inside on the fist. You don't want to get it right in the middle part of the plate. She put it outside where she had her chasing it. You know, that's another thing with Macy. She's done a real nice job with the location of her pitches. That's one thing we've seen in this playoff run that we're seeing early on today.
This is Brittany Scott, the pitcher for the Chiefs. Takes strike 1. Takes low for ball 1. So 1-1 count. Brittany Scott hitting .495 on the year.
Yeah, 100 hits, 100 career hits, and of course we mentioned on the mound, she's just been absolutely dominating.
Fouled straight back. So Macy's ahead in the count, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Sarah has come out locating her pitches very well early on here. There's that high pitch, was pulled foul down the third base side.
She pulled it.
Going to be fielded by Mr. Baitinger up here on the walkway.
You have to think that one, she wanted to get a little bit more on the fist right there.
Lots of Sterling staff out today, taking in the afternoon nice weather and the ball game here today. Nice crowd building. A little bit of an earlier start today because of the prom. Taking high and outside, 2-2 count. And there's a shot down the left field side. Lands foul again.
Yeah, and that's another one that got the middle part of the plate. You can see Brittany Scott can really get around on the pitches, and it's important, you know, when you face hitters like her, that you keep the pitches on the inside and outside corners.
2-2, 2 outs. Tries to go upstairs again, and Scott does not chase. So we got a full count here, the top of the first inning. South Jersey Group 2 championship game. Ground ball to third base. Daubert takes care of that. Over to Sydney Allen, and that finishes the first. And you see ball bounce right up to Alexis. And she took. She has thrown a perfect game this year and 4 no-hitters. So this is going to be a low-scoring game, most likely.
Had one game where she had 17 strikeouts, so she's definitely the real deal. There's no question about it.
All right, Kylie McGoldrick will lead off for the Lady Knights.
And obviously the last game, the big thing, the big positive that came out of that was the offensive onslaught of Kylie McGoldrick. I mean, even a couple of the balls that were caught, mainly the one that comes to mind is that ball to center field, were really just hit right on the nose, and they hit like only she can hit the ball.
The outfield plays her medium depth. Wind is blowing out to left field today. Kylie takes one right off the hip. The first pitch, it just didn't break. Or maybe she did get the Barry Bonds pad on it to save her ribs there a little bit.
Yeah, that was right there, but they'll take that. Obviously, Scott didn't want to do that. Get Sterling off to the start with getting probably their best base runner.
Sarah Almacy up now. With that running up, slapping style, takes strike 1. I have a feeling she did want to go inside there. She didn't want to hit her. But I think she wanted to intimidate her a little bit there.
In on the fist.
Yep. Sarah pops up the bunt attempt, so now it's 0-2 to Sarah Almasi.
Well, that's what we're seeing. I mean, with Kylie McGoldrick, they're getting her in either the fist or the outside corner, and then obviously the last game, there were a few mistakes, and she really took advantage of it.
Almasi strikes out for the first out on the bottom of the first. Fastball running away, or maybe it's a high screwball kind of action there. Here's Kylie O'Donnell. And McGoldrick breaks and steals second easily. That wasn't even close. So we could file that. She beat the ball to the bag.
Yeah, and you look the way Scott's throwing. I mean, just like Almasi, she really gets a lot of speed in her motion towards the latter part of her motion. It doesn't look like it's a step, obviously, that she comes off the mound, but it's not like that big jump or the big step, or at least to the extent that you see Almasi have.
Big opportunity here for the Lady Knights to jump out early. O'Donnell takes strike one, and another great jump by McGoldrick to steal third.
Yeah, great jump, and really a basic blunder there by Buena by not having third base covered. Yeah, you talk about all the little things, and if you make little mistakes, it could be the difference between a 2-1 win and a 2-1 loss.
Donald tries to bunt, goes foul. More of a safety squeeze here. Just trying to make contact. Probably good strategy to try and get an early lead here. Even with 2 strikes, it might not be a bad idea to try that again. She strikes out swinging. I'm going to see if she's going to come down and in a little bit. Oh, no, right down the middle. Yeah. Maybe tailed a little bit to the outside the last second. Now here's Amanda Gardiner. See if she could pick up a 2-out RBI here.
But like you're saying about the bunting with 2 strikes, something you normally wouldn't do, but against a dominating pitcher like Scott, and where you're anticipating a very close game where runs are going to be at the minimum, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Gardiner hits the ball on the ground to the left side. Rios retires. Gardiner on the ground out to shortstop, so that ends the bottom of the first. I thought that was going to get in the hole, but Rios jumped over there pretty quick. And Gardiner was hustling the whole way, but just gets beaten by about a step.
Yeah, good location on the pitch right there. They didn't allow Gardiner to get the barrel of the bat out there. The ball went off the handle, and you had the weak ground ball.
I'll have to file that one back for an opportunity missed there for an early run for the Lady Knights.
Well, you can see Coach Town is just being aggressive as always with the steal, and this is a Sterling team that there's a lot of great things that are happening right now with their defense, them hitting the ball, getting timely hitting, and also the job they do on the base paths. They just really make teams pay if there's any little mistake. You can't make it against this Sterling team.
And again, a very nice crowd is building here now at the castle. There's the head coach's mom, Mrs. Gail Talent, long-time Sterling teacher, retired a few years ago. She's the official scorekeeper for the Lady Knights.
Of course, Mr. Town, her dad is one of the assistants and the first base coach.
Janessa Rios, cleanup hitter for the Chiefs, will lead off here in the second.
Rios is another Cape All-Star, having 30 hits, hitting .354. There's a little pop in her bat. She's got 26 RBIs.
Changeup for a strike.
And that's something I think we're going to have to see from Almasi with, this team having some good hitters where they're able to get around.
Ball in the hole, but McGoldrick, the vacuum cleaner.
Again, you see them get around on that pitch right there, get the barrel on it where it goes to McGoldrick. She gets the out, but you don't get the same sense that she's blowing the fastball by everybody in this game the same way she has in the last few games. So, you know, the change-up mixed with the location is going to be a key today.
Ball 1 to Gina Teti. That first step by McGoldrick to the hole was amazing there, though. She got covered. That was a one-hop semi-line drive, and here she goes again. This one's more right at her. She bobbles this time, but still with a strong arm takes care of Gina Teti. So there's 2 outs.
Yeah, this is what you get from goal. Even you get the little bobble, got the strong arm, and probably just as important, that quick release that we always see when she scoops the ball up. It's almost like it goes in and out in one motion.
All right, here's Natalie Gianniscoli, first baseman for the Chiefs. Takes the ball high and outside.
And it's sitting in hitting there. Gianniscoli hitting in the 6th hole. 372, 29 hits.
Takes strike 1. So Macy's already starting to work her inside and outside pitches, keeping them off balance.
Yeah, very few balls out over the middle of the plate. A couple kind of got a little bit of break with the foul balls, 2 foul balls that were hit for a line drive.
There's a foul straight back, evens the count at 2-2. Popped up again off the front of the cage. So count holds at 2-2. You can see how the cage kind of is right above the plate there, so anything straight up is going to hit that cage. Macy tries to go up the ladder to get her to chase. It seems to be an early strategy she's trying here. Maybe they got a little bit of a scouting report, but a full count now with 2 outs in the top of the 2nd. Swung on and popped up to the right side. Ooh, Kate Biasi with a little bit of a snow cone action, but that retires the side in the 2nd. Here you see, ooh, almost jumped out of her glove.
But again, good location on a 3-2 pitch. You know, a lot of pitchers in that situation will just want to throw the strike. You're nervous about runners on base, but to be able to throw it a strike to the outside corner, and we're looking at a lot of hitters right now. Again, they're getting their bats on the ball, but you see them lunging to the outside, and that's why in a lot of cases you're getting the weak pop-ups and a couple of weak ground balls from Buena.
Quite a staff mob up here on the mezzanine level. There's a shot of the center field super boxes, as we like to call them. Mr. Giambri out there.
Waving right. The camera, wants the bottle of water. I think Mr. Clank has extra bottles of water.
Okay, Sydney Allen, who has been very steady hitter here in the playoffs this year. First baseman for Lady Knights, junior. She takes low for a ball. Changeup popped up near the dugout. Nice play by the first baseman, Natalie Gianniscoli. Goes right into that little nook there that's next to the dugout, next to the batting cage.
Yeah, that's probably, you know, your biggest aspect in softball to go with pitching is on the defensive side and how important that is.
Kate Biasi now, second baseman for the Lady Knights. She pops it up on the right side, just over the dugout. Now to play.
Yeah, you're seeing from Scott, like some of the things you see from Macy with the good location, and when they're lunging at that fastball, which she does have a very good fastball, there's just a dead sound to the ball coming off the bat. You don't have that pop, and you know, you have to give a lot of credit in that situation to Scott.
1-1 to Kate Biasi. Taking ball 2. So far early on, Brittany Scott has nice stuff, but the Lady Knights do not look like they're being overmatched here, so we got to take some positive vibe from that. And we're being told that alumnus Sammy Giambri came back and pitched some DP for the ladies yesterday, so the last winner of a state championship came back to help the girls out. Check this pitch on the replay. Called the ball, but yeah, that's a nice pitcher's pitch there.
Yeah, especially when the glove doesn't even move. Catcher's glove never even flinched.
Biasi takes the walk. Good at bat for Kate Biasi. 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd.
Yeah, and it could happen from time to time, but for the most part, both these pitchers are facing lineups where you have a lot of selective hitters. You're not going to see them flail away and swing at some bad pitches. So you're going to have to really earn your strikeouts and earn your outs for that matter.
Alyssa Giambri puts down a nice bunt. So the sacrifice is good, moves Biasi up to second base. So do a sac 1-4, I believe. The second baseman, I believe, was covering there. Good job by Alyssa Giambri to get the sac bunt down. Okay, so now we're going to need some 2-out magic here. Alexis Daubert will step up. Has come up with some big RBIs here in the postseason. Takes strike 1.
Yeah, and you see that sacrifice with an out, your 2 outs, but you get girls in scoring position often enough. I mean, after you do it a few times, I mean, eventually it's got to count for you. It's got to work out for you. You know, and especially when you look at this Sterling team that has gotten a lot of big hits at key times, even from the bottom of the lineup.
Daubert takes on the inside half of the plate for strike 1. Or strike 2, I'm sorry. Low, ball 1.
And Daubert came up with a couple key hits in that Manasquan game, and probably no one more important than the sacrifice. There was a sacrifice off to the right side where she scored a big run early on.
And she swings a little bit late on that pitch and strikes out. So that brings the 2nd inning to a close. Works that outside corner, probably a little bit wide, but too close to take with 2 strikes.
Yeah, a little bit wide, and that ball looked like it had not a ton of movement, but just enough.
Yeah, just enough to move it away from the bat.
To get it out there.
So we head to the top of the 3rd inning, and the Chiefs will bring the bottom third of their lineup to the plate. Ashley Surran, Gina Rios, and Karlie Linus.
And you look at these stats, Buena doesn't have anybody, unless I missed one on here, doesn't have anybody hitting under 300. So that's a solid lineup there for you.
It's a little bit tough to believe, actually, for me. You know, and we've talked about the scoring thing before. You never know who's keeping the book and who's, keeping the stats.
Good crowd there.
Very, very nice crowd. That was going down the first base line. That's what you're seeing. That was the Buena sidelines. Ashley Surran, the catcher, steps into the plate. No extra base hits and a 300 average. 20 RBI. She tries to bunt her way on, goes foul. Pulls Daubert in a little bit at third base. Bunts again. Fielded and dropped by Sydney Allen at first base. Good play by Sarah Macy to come off the mound and make a good throw. Sydney just dropped the ball. So we'll have an E3. And not high, it's head high pitch, just dropped. So we'll see if Buena can make Lady Knights pay for that mistake. Here comes another bunt attempt.
And you have to think Buena's going to be aggressive on the base pass. This is where you like the fact that you're strong up the middle at the, you're at all three positions, and obviously with having Amanda Gardiner catcher, this is where you need her the most.
Bunt fouled off.
That's on the way back to where we were.
It's a foul tip that Amanda handled and then tried to pick off attempt at first base. No balls and 2 strikes to Gina Rios. She slaps the ball down to third base side, foul.
And I like the fact that she went over to first base. I mean, that could be the difference between her taking another couple steps, now having it feel like that's something she has to worry about. The lead's not going to be as big, and that's when you run the potential of getting a force or even throwing her out at second.
Again, with that running up slap style, fouls the ball off. No balls, 2 strikes to Gina Rios. She slaps the ball down the left field side. It lands fair. So that's going to be a single right down the line.
Fair by about a foot, if that, maybe even less.
A little replay here, and she just slaps it, and it lands maybe about a foot. Couldn't have thrown it out there any better. Now, 9-hitter Karlie Linus takes strike 1 on when she squared the bunt.
Yeah, well, with the 9th hitter up, this is where Macy needs a strikeout, get that first out.
Bunts through that high pitch. So that's 0-2 now to Karlie Linus. She tried to pull it back, but it was pulled back late.
Yeah.
That was not a strike. There's a little slap that's off the cage.
Kind of showed bunt initially, then took a little swing at it the last second.
Now Macy takes a little off of that one, but it's outside. Trying to get her to chase that high outside changeup. Fouled straight back again.
So Linus, again, as a number 9 hitter, is not an easy out. She's having a tough at bat right here.
Strikeout. That's a big out for Sarah Almacy.
Yeah, there's the big strikeout that she needed. And, in this little run that they've had in the playoffs, if there's one thing other than, outstanding performances that Sarah Macy has showed us is her ability to get out of some jams that she's gotten into. Not a whole lot, but when she gets in them, she's able to bear down and throw the big pitches at key times.
Here's the leadoff hitter, Maria Santiago, and she tries to bunt down the third baseline. Now, if you're going to bunt there, you want to make the third baseman field it, because leave that third base bag abandoned for your runners to come up, and even at worst, it winds up being a sacrifice to move 2 runners in scoring position.
Probably almost an impossible force out, no matter how hard it comes with the third baseman running up.
There's a slap to left. Oh, and they took off too early, and Ashley Sims will double her off at second base. Great play by Ashley Sims. The heads up, came up throwing, and doubled off Ashley Surran on the second base bag. And there's a base running mistake that evens out the mistakes of that inning.
Yeah,
brings it to an end.
That's a big base running mistake, because you have the top of the lineup up, you're going to your second hitter. Even with 2 outs, with a team that hits like Buena does, as you look at this line drive, you have to hold the bag right there. And she just wasn't able to do that. So that's a big mistake early on here.
That's where when you're at second base, whether it's softball or baseball, you take a peek at where your outfielders are playing.
Absolutely.
So you know, kind of in the neighborhood of where Ashley was going to be, and you can freeze. Should have just frozen anyway, because that was pretty well hit.
Yeah, now you have the meat of the lineup up, or you're going against the heart of their Buna's lineup without anybody on base, as opposed to a situation where you had the runners in scoring position. So, you know, we talked about how softball is a game of an error here, an error there, being big, and that's one right there that really could come back to haunt Buena.
Well, takes the monkey off of Sydney Allen's back. I'm sure she was upset about dropping that ball, but now no harm, no foul. So here we go with Paige Sendler leading off the bottom of the third. She blows a fastball by Paige for strike one. And right away, I like seeing the girl shorten up on the bat. That was obviously she was behind that, so she's choking up on the bat a little bit. Thinking contact, make them make play defensively. She takes strike two.
Yeah, the more often you get your bat on the ball, obviously the better chance you have of something happen. I mean, Buna's hit, that one inside the line was not hit hard at all, but, you know.
There's a ball hit to the third baseman, basically through her glove. We're going to give Paige a hit on that one, because she hit it well down the line. Just didn't bend over quite enough at third. So the Lady Knights get their leadoff hitter on.
Yeah, that's big Sendler, and you know, Coach Town is really trying to work that bottom of the lineup to get that some offense, something going from there. And Sendler there, you know, hitting the ball hard. Again, we talk about getting your bat on the ball. If you do that, good things will happen, and happen to Sendler right there. She's able to get on as Sterling goes to the top of the lineup.
Buena meets at the mound with McGoldrick at the plate here. Talk some strategy. I think Mr. Talent at first base better watch for the hidden ball trick here or something. Not sure what you're going to talk about. They must have known who Kylie McGoldrick was before the game. We'll see what our senior leader can do here. Oh, I thought that hit her in the knee.
Yeah, I think that talk had to be a lot about location. If anybody saw Kylie McGoldrick in the last game, you know, right now you don't want to get the ball to her out over the plate.
There's a ground ball up the middle. They're going to try and turn two. They get the first out at second base, or the lead runner. So McGoldrick doesn't quite get what she wanted out of that at bat. But a good takeout slide by Sendler at second stopped them from trying to turn double play. So fielder's choice 1-6. Sarah Almacy steps to the plate. And she bunts. And Sarah's got great wheels. And I think she beat it. Yes, she did. So Macy beats out the bunt base single, or bunt single. We see on the replay here, I get a little out of focus, but I thought that she beat it by just a hair.
Yeah, nice bunt. Good speed from Sarah Macy, and again from the left side of the plate, that gets her that extra step and puts her in a position to be safe.
Just a hair.
Just beat it. Good call.
So Kylie O'Donnell, senior center fielder, steps to the plate with runners at first and second and one out here in the third inning, and she's going to bunt. Not quite getting on top of the ball though, and it spins back foul. We apologize for any technical difficulties we're having. We're told we're having audio problems live out to channel 19.
Scott just wasting a pitch right there.
1-2 count to Kylie O'Donnell. Takes low for ball, 2-2.
Hoping that O'Donnell would flail away at a pitch outside, but again, you know, Sterling has a lot of selective hitters right here, and they don't swing at the bad pitches.
Full count now to Kylie O'Donnell. There's your runner, Kylie McGoldrick at second base. Sarah Macy at first. Good wheels on the base pass. O'Donnell pops it up into the screen.
Yeah, and that, again, that's a pitch where a lesser pitcher would have put the ball out over the plate in an effort to not have the walk, but she's still, just like Al Macy, can hit the corners even on a full count.
O'Donnell's hanging. Great at bat here.
See her make O'Donnell reach out there, and again, great job pitching and great job by Kylie O'Donnell to hang in there.
O'Donnell takes ball 4 low. So the Lady Knights got something cooking here in the 3rd inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, and their cleanup hitter, Amanda Gardiner, steps to the plate.
Yeah, and you talk about little things that are going to help you in a softball game. That at bat was a little thing that can really help you. With 1 out here, Amanda Gardiner up, and the bases loaded. Sterling really has an opportunity to make something happen right here. And this
Gardiner
is where
takes strike 1.
Amanda Gardiner. This is where Scott needs a strikeout right here. No question about it.
Takes low for ball 1. Swings at a high pitch that time. 1-2 to Amanda Gardiner.
Yeah, this is one of the few times we've seen somebody from Sterling, or Buena from that matter, swing at something out of the zone. I mean, that's way high right there.
And she takes strike 3 called.
Yeah, that was outside. That was definitely off the plate. You know, that was about a half a foot, if more, outside. So, tough one right there for Amanda Gardiner.
Well, here's Sydney Allen. Takes low, ball 1.
Now that one looked better than the one before.
Swings through a pitch. Again, a little bit on the high side, but we'll see Sydney's a lot taller than Amanda's. See where this pitch comes in. Yeah, that's still high.
Yeah, and inside there. That's where she was going outside. And then she tries to bust her inside up on the hands.
But even if you hit that high pitch, you're not going to do much with it. You're going to pop that up in the infield.
Yeah.
2-1 to count Sydney out. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. No score yet in this South Jersey Group 2 final, and she takes strike 2.
I mean, you could count on one hand the pitches that have been out over the middle of the plate by both pitchers in this game.
Brittany Scott winds, throws, comes in low. So now it's full count. So here's a payoff pitch. Runners will get a jump. Anything hit to the outfield is an automatic score of 2 runs here now.
Yeah, this is the biggest pitch right now here early on in this game.
Again, swings a higher one. Don't want her to take that 3rd strike, but this is definitely another high pitch. And again, you're not going to be able to do much with that, even if you hit it in fair territory. That's going to be a pop-up. Takes ball 4, and that forces in a run. So Sydney Allen does a great job. Has a good at-bat. She lays off that last high one. Brittany Scott was trying to get her to chase again.
Yeah, and I think, again, you talk about being selective, being a tough out. The 2 biggest at-bats in getting this run were Sydney Allen and Kylie O'Donnell.
And here's Kate Biasi, takes strike 1. A hit here would be a real devastating blow to the Buena Chiefs. Change up. Nice pitch.
Haven't seen a lot of that.
Yeah, had her weight, overweight forward there. Takes ball 1. So it's 1-2 to Kate Biasi. Bases are juiced with Lady Knights.
You have to think we'll see that change up a few more times today.
Strike 3. So the Lady Knights are finished here in the bottom of the third, but they do take the lead on a bases loaded walk from Sydney Allen. You see strike 3 here. Again, that tailing little fastball or whatever she wants to call that. Just tails at the very last minute.
Yeah. You can hit that, but as a hitter, you really have to swing at it because it looks like it's going to be right on the outside part of the plate. By the time it tails, it's really an unhittable pitch.
Was that the first one? 1-0. What inning you going to?
Just top of the fourth.
The top of the fourth. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And here we're going to take a look at the walk that forced in the run, and you see that Sydney stayed away. It was actually up and quite outside, so good job by Sydney Allen to work that walk anyway, anyhow, as it said.
Yeah, they made Scott throw a lot of pitches, and I think when you get into innings like that, you have those tough at-bats when you're fouling off pitches, and we said Scott really hasn't put anything out over the middle of the plate thus far, but sometimes pitchers can get frustrated, and that's when they tend to make that mistake and put it out over middle of the plate. So, you know, the job they're doing in working Scott, who's obviously one of the outstanding pitchers in South Jersey, is why they've been able to generate this run here early on, which is huge in a close game against two good teams.
Here we go, top of the fourth. Sarah Mesa will be facing the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Chiefs lineup. This is Karlie Gruccio. Strike 1. What do I said every game, Mr. Schultz?
I'll tell you.
Most important pitch. Strike 1.
Strike 1.
Everything works off of that.
And both pitchers really like getting ahead of the hitters, and more often than not, they've been able to do that.
Umpire calls time, and he's motioning down the first base line. I'm not sure exactly at who or what.
Buena fan. We were told they're
they have to back up a little. Maybe
feisty group, very aggressive.
Okay, they got over the inbounds line there, so. Karlie Gruccio, right fielder, fouls the ball off. So strike 2. (0-2) count to Karlie Gruccio here on Friday, June the 3rd, 2011. 1 week of school left to go. Big promenade and prom tonight.
Flying right by. This is a real key inning to get through the meat of the order. If she can get through here unscathed.
Ground ball to Sarah Almasi, and she throws to Sydney Allen to get out number 1.
Yeah, that's a big out. As we look at this, just going right back to Sarah Almasi, who obviously does a real good job fielding her position. But if you can get through 2, 3, and 4, I mean, there's a chance you might only face the top of the order one more time.
Brittany Scott takes ball 1. Takes low, ball 2. So Almasi falls behind Brittany Scott, 2-0. Took something off of that one, pours it over for a strike.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you look at the weather today, that's one thing that is definitely pitcher friendly as opposed to what we were up against the other day with it being 93 degrees and having no breeze at all.
Yeah, we went from Miami in August to San Diego, I think, today.
Look like that screwball that tails inside.
Brittany Scott fouls the ball off the third base side.
And Macy even said, we talked to her after the game, how after that first inning, she was really tired, but yeah, she went on to get her second win, as we've seen her do throughout the year after a long inning here or there.
Ground ball to right side and through for a base hit for Brittany Scott. So Alyssa Giambri gets it in. Right through the hole. Good piece of hitting there.
Yeah, that was. And one of the few balls we've really seen hit on the barrel of the bat, and it was a good pitch. I mean, it was the outside. I know from here, obviously we're looking at the monitor and looking up here from our vantage point, you could see her having to reach out for that. Anytime you make a hitter reach out like that, hey, you got to give them credit. I mean, because you had the ball on the outside part of the plate, you didn't put it right over the middle.
Courtesy runners number 2. First, here's a sacrifice bunt. Nice play by Alexis Daubert. Over to Biasi covering, so we have the sack. 5-4. Moves the runner to second base.
Sterling just very fundamentally sound. You had McGoldrick go the second. Actually, had Ashley Sims come over and cover third.
Brings to the plate Gina Teti. With 2 outs here. A runner in scoring position. Now Macy starts her with a fastball over for a called strike.
You know, that covering third there, that's something you take for granted, but a couple years ago in the last year, the year before in the World Series, third wasn't covered.
Ground ball to McGoldrick, and she throws her out. So that takes care of the top of the 4th inning.
You can almost start running off the field when the ball gets hit to Kylie McGoldrick. Not that I'd advise it, but
no,
it's almost a sure thing there. I mean, even if she bobbles it like we saw her do on the previous ball, she's just, again, got the quick release, strong arm to recover like nobody else in South Jersey.
And get a little shot of us here.
Right here.
Yeah, keeping my scorecard straight here. As they zoom out and you see the truck there, all set up. For when this game ends, the kids will pull all the wires up from the softball field and run all the wires into the gym. Reset the cameras up, get ready for the promenade tonight, which starts at 6:15 if anybody's out there watching live. It's a real nice event every year here. We've been doing that now at Sterling probably, maybe about 10 or 12 years now. Maybe even a little longer than that.
Something everybody looks forward to, I know. There's always over-anxious parents that want to get that key spot to get the picture.
Yeah, get here early.
Tension sometimes, but
get here early because this is one of the biggest crowds that show up at the school all year, other than obviously graduation. We pretty much pack the gym. So get here early if you're coming to the promenade tonight. We start off with Alyssa Giambri here in the bottom of the 4th. She takes low ball 1. Alyssa Giambri was the homecoming queen this year, and she also is still participating. She actually won a competition. I believe she is the New Jersey representative in a national homecoming queen contest.
Very impressive.
She's been in the TV studio doing some editing of a project she has to submit in the summertime, and I believe she's going to be traveling to California this summer to compete sometime in July.
Yeah, another example, the athletes we see out here being not only very good athletes, just good, well-rounded kids.
It's a ground ball to shortstop. Rios takes care of Alyssa Giambri. Rios to Janessa for the first out of the 5th.
And we've been talking a lot about McGoldrick, and rightfully so, but I'll tell you what, Rios does a nice job there at shortstop for Buena. You know, a couple times there was a ball hitting the hole. We thought, nobody was going to get there, and she really gets over there in a hurry. I mean, a lot of times where you might see some fielders have to backhand it because they don't have the lateral quickness, Rios is able to get her body in front of it, set her feet, and make a real good throw.
Here's Alexis Daubert. 1-1 count to Alexis Daubert. Change up, swinging for strike 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's it.
Nice pitch. She goes upstairs again, a little harder this time.
Yeah, you got that change up. It just seems like to hit that leg a little bit harder, and obviously with all good change up, you have the same arm motion as you have with the fastball.
Takes down and in. So it's now 3-2 count to Alexis Daubert. Swinging, strike 3.
And that's a pitch she had to swing at, right at the knees, outside corner.
This is definitely her out pitch. This time she brought the movement came in a little bit, as opposed to the fading or tailing fastball she was using before. Here's Paige Sendler. Swings, strike 1.
And that's like that screwball that Al Macy has. And you know, the two ways you can work that, you can have it come to the middle and have it come up on the fist, or like she did in that previous pitch, as we see her fouled off right there. Previous pitch, have it go looking like it's going to be a foot outside and just get the corner for a called strike.
Change up, taken low for a ball. So 1-2 to Sendler. Ball high, 2-2.
Ball, 2 strikes.
And back-to-back full counts run by the Lady Knights. A good job by the bottom of the lineup to have Scott do some extra work here. Take strike 3. So that ends the 4th.
And I think that's a pitch where every single time you saw Scott in his 3-2 pitch try to hit the outside corner, here she brought it a little bit inside, and I think fooled Sendler a little bit. That's a real nice pitcher's pitch right there.
As we head to the top of the 5th inning, Lady Knights still holding on to that 1-0 lead on that bases loaded walk by Sydney Allen, which scored Kylie McGoldrick.
There we look at our crowd, spread out throughout. I mean, in this field, it's not like there's just one area where you see people all bunched together. It's all spread out all over the place and growing as the game goes on. Buena bringing a good crowd.
Yeah, good 45-minute ride from Buena Township.
And you talked about their history. I think I think in between championships it was a long period of time, but they have a pretty good tradition down there where they've gotten a lot of conference championships. I know I actually ran into somebody who was, he coaches in their feeder program. He happened to be across the street over there at Nuccio's, as we give a little plug there, but unintentionally. But he was just talking about how, you know, he does a lot of traveling with the 12U, the 15U teams, and about the tradition that they have built down there in the Buena area.
Here's Janessa to lead off the 5th, takes a strike. Yeah, and that goes for the baseball side for Buena down there too. They won Diamond Classic this year for the first time ever. That's, if you don't know what that is, that's the South Jersey kind of elite baseball tournament that is run every year by Mr. Joe Hartman and the South Jersey baseball coaches, and they went on a nice run. They stumbled into playoffs though last week, but they were, I believe, the number 2 or 3 seed in Group 2 for baseball. So they had a nice spring sports season down in Buena. Here's McGoldrick again, sets her feet and throws it. Again, nobody better. That's a clinic. Field the ball, set your feet. Field your ball, set your feet, throw, follow through, and throw a strike to first base, and got it there easily. Ashley Surran Catcher for Buena. Takes ball 1.
And the thing with this infield looks very hard. You're getting a lot of high hops, and that wasn't your classic in-between hop, but it wasn't an easy hop at that.
Yeah,
coming at her.
Coach Talon said the practice yesterday was pretty rough. It was very, very hard. So they watered the field down a little bit last night. They did again today, during the day, off and on, because we have had no rain to speak of for a while around here. So the field does just bake out here in the sun.
And like you said, you're watering it to soften it up a little bit, but nothing softens it up better than a good, hard, drenching rain to really get down in there.
Well, either way, this will end the home sports schedule for spring 2011. Anything past today would be on the road. Another strikeout for Al Macy. Close pitch this time, and we'll check the replay and see where it comes inside. That's that screwball that she likes to throw. Maybe a little bit low, but too close to take with 2 strikes. Gina Rios runs up and swings or bunts through the first pitch for strike 1. 328 average, again, with no extra base hit. So I'm thinking you have a lot of singles there. There's a little slap to the, and off the glove of Daubert past McGoldrick. So that's going to be a single.
And that's a break right there with it. McGoldrick moving over, looking like she probably would have had it, but you can't fault Alexis Daubert there, because if you can get that play, you're going to try to get it, cut it off, and throw it. But, you know, that's just something you're going to react to as a third baseman.
Karlie Linus with 2 outs here. And this is the 9-hitter in the Buena lineup. So you want to get this girl here to try and alleviate getting to the top of the order with a runner on base. Strike 1 call. Ball high. Amanda Gardiner checking the runner at first. Fouled straight back.
And that looked like that screwball again. Looked like it faded inside a little bit, and that's one where you think you're getting the barrel of the bat on it, and it hits in a little bit. You don't get good. You don't say good wood, good aluminum on it.
Good, yeah. It's low and outside. There's a snap throw again from Amanda Gardiner. A little bit late, but lets her know she's paying attention to her over there.
I like that. I like the fact that she's doing that. And again, that just shows you how confident she is, because a lot of times you might have catchers who are nervous about that, because obviously a bad throw gets the runner, in a lot of cases, gets them to third.
Ball low.
Full count.
So now we have a full count to Karlie Linus. Leadoff hitter Maria Santiago waits on deck. Fouled straight up into the cage.
And that was a pitch about belt high, a little towards the outside part of the plate, but you definitely can't take that.
Now, and if you're Sarah Macy, you got to challenge this 9-hitter with 2 outs. You know, you don't want to turn that lineup over. She's hitting 9th for a reason, even though she's got a nice batting average. She's obviously not as good a hitter as the leadoff hitter is. So another foul ball.
Yeah, and you have to think she was doing that on that pitch right there. That was right over the middle of the plate. She just really tried to overpower on that one.
Goldrick comes in to slow down now Macy a little bit. Let her get her breath. And there's strike 3. And then, you know, that's a little bit of, just a slight bit of senior leadership you see right there. Kylie McGoldrick came in, acted like she needed to tie her shoe. I don't think she really needed to tie her shoe. That's a great pitch. But just gave Sarah a second to take a breath, collect herself, pour the fastball over, and take care of that lineup and squelch even a chance of a little rally.
And she did exactly what you were saying on those last 2 pitches. I think the one before probably, you know, nibbled a little bit, but then she just went right at her on those last two. The one she fouled off and the last one right there, she just blew right by her. And that just, it just shows you right now how confident Sarah Almasi is on the mound.
Now we hit the bottom of the 5th action. Sterling at the top of their lineup. Kylie McGoldrick will lead off.
And again, you're going to get, you know, getting back to the Buena side, when they come up, you'll have the top of the lineup up with nobody on, and you have to feel like she's able to get through there. It's going to be, put them in pretty good shape. And that's what we thought. There'd be one more time through the top of that lineup of Buena, and you're going to get it in the next inning.
Line drive to second baseman Maria Santiago. Goldrick, that was a changeup. McGoldrick stayed back on it well and lined it, but right at Santiago for out number 1.
Yeah, and that's just the way she's been hitting the ball in the last 2 games.
Now Macy runs up, hits the ball down the third baseline. It'll be foul. And that's one you almost may as well just spit at, because Macy was definitely going to beat that if he fielded it. Just make sure it goes foul and kick it or whatever. Keep it foul. Runs up, pitch bounces. Evens the count at 1-1. I know Mr. Schul's working on a pretty good tan here for all these games the last couple weeks.
I forgot my sunblock. These days are the ones that fool you.
The Wildwood trip the other day, had some sun that day. I got a little bit too much sun. That was about a day and a half recovery from that trip.
Good day for everybody. Another trip that really, really went well.
Taken high. You hear Coach Talent in the background, giving some encouragement to Sarah Almasi. Little half swing action there, just trying to make contact. You see the close up here, you see the little chop swing.
And like you said, she gets sat down the third baseline. She's got first with her ability to get out of that box.
And there it is again. That's foul, but that's going to be a strikeout, right? They don't count that as a bunt.
Let's see here.
Okay.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I think if you pull your hand down like that and out a little bit.
These umpires are going to talk about that one, because, I mean, to me, that was a bunt attempt. I know I'm supposed to be I'm a Sterling supporter here, but that, got to call it like you see it. Batter's out. Yeah,
that's the right call right there.
Right, yeah. Now Coach Talon is going to ask.
Well, you know, that is a tough one, because I had thought she moved her hand down, came down a little bit.
I kind of wonder why they went to the first base umpire, though.
Right. Now that's a good point.
Why not go to the third base umpire? Because that's the person who's got the better look at it. I mean, like I said, we agree with the call.
Yeah, I guess Mr. K made a good point. Even though you didn't bring your hand down, you're not swinging, you're laying the bat down. And I guess the thing you have to get down there is what you think the intent is of the hitter.
Kylie O'Donnell, plate. She hits the ball in the air to the right side. Second baseman Santiago takes care of that, and that'll end the bottom of the 5th. Still Sterling holding a 1-0 lead.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Here we're going to try and get another replay of that bunt. Take a look at it one more time. Again, not being really on top of the rules, as well as they probably should be in softball, but she did not move her hands up as if to square or anything like that. But she definitely did not take a full cut at the ball.
Yeah.
So she stopped her hands there, And like I said, my only question would have been why isn't the third base umpire getting
that's a good point.
That call instead of the first base umpire? I just don't understand that one. But we move on.
And again, I think, and Mr. K made a good point there about it. It was the bat was being laid down like it was a bunt, even though she didn't move her hands down. And I guess, and like you said, you're looking if you're the first base ump, you're not even really able to see probably if the hands are being moved down. Whether that's a factor in his decision making or not, I don't know. But
especially with the way Sarah runs up, she's going to be blocking that first base umpire out somewhat. All right, now we have the leadoff hitter for Buena now on the top of the 6th. Maria Santiago, who just made 2 plays there in the bottom of the 5th.
Big inning here for Al Macy.
Slap, but right at McGoldrick. Had her played perfectly. Had her played in the hole. That little slap, you could read that as a shortstop, and you can see how quick she's on the screen almost before the ball came off the bat. And that's only anticipation and reading what the hitter's doing with her feet and her hips. Fouled straight back for strike 1. This is Karlie Gruccio.
Yeah, you're right. That's as much about anticipation as it is about the ability to move laterally and quickness.
High and outside.
That just goes, we talk about her physical ability, but also has an outstanding mental ability for the game and a mental feel for the game.
A little pop up, that should be handled by McGoldrick as well, behind the bag at third. And now Brittany Scott to the plate. Strike 1. Love to see that pitch again. That almost, from our angle, it looked like it was a little on the high and outsides there. But we are a pretty good ways away. Here's a fly ball to left, but Ashley Sims is underneath of it. And that retires the side in the 6th.
Nice play by Ashley Sims here, fundamentally sound. First step is back, gets right under it, and has really done a nice job in left field for Sterling. And I know in some of these games, we've seen some left fielders make some blunders in coming in on the ball, cutting on them in wrong angles. And we look right here where, and it was kind of out of the picture a little bit. Ashley Sims' first step was back, and she wasn't jumping for it. She wasn't slowly going back. She got under it, just like you want your outfielders to do. Get under it, get to it quickly, and catch it right above your head. And she was able to do that for the final out of the inning.
Ball's in.
We head to the bottom of the 6th. Amanda Gardiner, Sydney Allen, and Kate Biasi coming up for the night. So you see Dr. V and Mr. Claiborne. More of the Buena crowd. You feel the tension kind of building here a little now, because it's this thing with softball. It moves along once it gets going, and we haven't been out here. We've been out here an hour yet. Playing time.
This has been a quick one, no question about it.
So here we go, bottom of the 6th. Amanda Gardiner at the plate. 341 average for the year. She pops up foul.
Yeah, I think that's a situation where Gardner's looking to see if Santiago just wants to get something over the plate. You might get a first pitch that's out over the middle.
Strike 2. Takes high and outside. 1 and 2.
Look for her to go outside again.
Poke down the right field side, out of play.
And if there's a better hitter around at fouling off pitches, maybe Kylie McGoldrick, you would say, but Amanda Gardiner has that ability where she can just foul off pitch after pitch, and I think in one of our games she actually fouled off 15 straight pitches.
Takes high.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Saw 15, fouled off 11.
There's a line drive to left field for a base hit for Amanda Gardiner. And we'll see a courtesy runner, I'm sure, come in for Amanda, but good job of Amanda getting a lead-off single here in the 6th. Line drive.
Yeah, and that's big right there, getting on base and putting some pressure on Santiago with the middle part of the lineup up, and because Courtney Smith goes to first base, and Santiago at this point in this game really can't allow another run with the way this game's been going.
Courtney Smith, good wheels now at first base. Sydney Allen at the plate. 0 for 1 today with a walk, and it was a big walk because it forced in the only run of the game back in the 3rd inning. Ooh. Strike 1 called. Let's see this pitch real fast. Well, that drop. Sydney is a tall girl. Sydney's about 6 foot, if not maybe a little taller. She tries to bunt that one.
And that fooled you a little bit because the catcher caught it and brought her glove down out of the zone. Something you don't want your catcher to do because you could lose strikes in that situation.
I think 1 and 2 to count, I believe, is Sydney Allen. Strike 3 on the swing, says the umpire. And yeah, I believe the wrist broke, back came through the zone.
Yeah, and that looks like that screwball that has a lot of speed on it goes in on the wrist, and tough pitch to hit.
Pop up right into that little nook by the first base dugout, falls uncaught. Kate Biasi. Here's another look at that check swing. From that angle, that's tough. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I think those umpires flip a coin on that. Biasi, hard to second base. They're going to try for 2. They do get the force at second. Nice play by Santiago. Get it over to Rios to get the lead runner.
Yeah, Smith did a nice job and a little bit of a takeout slide there. And you know, another thing when we're talking about little things, we saw that from Smith right there. Also, Sendler early on in the game had a real nice takeout slide going to second.
And that's good to see because both of those. Well, Paige is a senior. Paige might be a senior, but Courtney's only a sophomore, so it's good experience that Courtney's getting here in these games. Just to be around the atmosphere, get the younger kids, even if they're not going to play a lot, get them around the atmosphere in these big games. It's good for future success. Alyssa Giambri, a little late on that pitch.
Yeah, and as you get into these playoffs deeper and deeper, the fundamentals, little things, just become so much more important.
Ball low. Change up. Alyssa stays back well to get a piece of that. You see Alyssa's going to get her weight a little bit forward here, but she keeps her hands back.
Keeps the hands back, yeah.
Brittany Scott's doing a nice job of changing speeds here and keeping her reel off balance.
And it's tough as a lefty. You still have the speed. You have the changeup. You also have that screwball that can fade away from a lefty.
There's a shot down the left field side, caught by left fielder Gina Rios. Nice play by Gina Rios. A shoestring catch and left. And from that angle, sure looks good to me. Nice play by Gina Rios. See from this angle if we can get make sure she got her glove underneath of it. I'm pretty sure she did. Nice play.
Yeah.
Very nice play. Show the umpire the ball. Record that out. Well, here we go. To the top of the 7th. 1-0 lead for the Lady Knights.
And we talked about how these two teams are equal. That's one area where we're seeing now, when we're to this point in the tournament, a team that's equal with Sterling from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, they're able to make some real nice defensive plays that you didn't necessarily see in the first couple rounds from other teams.
And in this 7th inning, Macy will face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Janessa Rios, Gina Teti, and Natalie Gianascoli. Last chance for the Chiefs. They're probably going to be in any way, anyhow mode here.
And now Macy's really looking strong here late in the game. And again, you keep going back to having a real good day, real good pitcher's day. And
shortstop Janessa Rios takes strike 1. Popped up, left side. Kylie McGoldrick takes care of out number 1 of the 7th.
See McGoldrick get under it. But you look at Al Macy, I mean, sometimes, and not just Al Macy, some of the other pitches we see, if you're not getting pitches, you take some time, you wait a little bit. She just wants to get that ball, maybe take a quick 2 steps back, come right back on the mound, and get right back to the hitter.
Here's Gina Teti, designated player. Fouled it straight back. And this game is hinging on a bases loaded walk in the 3rd. To Sydney Allen. Here's a ground ball. Daubert, third base. To Sydney Allen. That's 2 outs here in the 7th.
Talk about that hard field and the high hops you're going to get.
And the last chance for the Chiefs of Buena is Natalie Gianascoli, first baseman. Now Macy going right at her for strike 1.
Yeah, it seems like even in the middle part of the lineup, in the latter part of this game, she's really, again, developing more confidence. She's going and really challenges the hitters middle in.
Line drive down the left field line, just foul.
Game of inches, Mr. Farr.
There's a foul ball, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, called a foul.
Had me nervous there for a second. She was standing on second base, not moving. So an 0-2 count. Now this one, at the vantage point we have right now, we had a pretty good vantage point for this one down the line, but ooh, wow. That's okay, 0-2 count. Now Macy popped up foul.
There you see her going to the middle part of the plate. Again, she's doing it a lot more now than she had in the earlier part of the game.
Nobody on. 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Sarah Macy gets her to pop it up to first baseman Sydney Allen, and the Lady Knights of Sterling are the South Jersey Group 2 champions for 2011, and they will live to play some more next Tuesday up in Wall Township. They will head to the state semifinals. We'll get you more information on that later. But a great afternoon here at Sterling, just getting started with the prom later, but the Lady Knights are the South Jersey Group 2 softball champions for 2011.
Yeah, this is a very confident team that right now is just doing everything they need to do to get a win. It wasn't pretty. They really generated that 1 run they got through a couple real good bats by Kylie O'Donnell and Sydney Allen, working the pitcher. Scott, who's one of the more outstanding pitchers in South Jersey, and getting the run across, and just an outstanding job, and by everybody involved in the Sterling team in this run that they're having right now. That's going to continue on.